something like
because
that.
society has painted a picture of a man as being the yes dear.
Okay, and
that's the
why we need to
ideal
get back
husband
to.
now. If you look at
see,
television shows,
society is not going to run my household.
I agree, but I'm saying
I see flavor of love and
like you just,
AJ
like you
love
just
and all
said, and
that.
my business partner is kind of like that. And then he eventually said, look, I said I was going out. That's what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
We'll talk about
Right,
that
and
later.
and I say
And
that.
then what happened after
and
that?
they like that.
They still strong.
Oh,
They love it.
And I
The
say-
women like that. They really do.
because
They do.
she eased up. You know, because sometimes.
Oh, that's
you
when
know,
it's a conflict of whether or not going
Well, no,
out or not.
sometimes when a woman thinks that even though her man has been a man, so to speak, for so long, especially with that situation, if she feels like he's kind of like punking up, she's gonna start pushing that.
Yes, absolutely.
She's gonna start pushing it until he says, "Whoa."
So you're saying it's innate in her to do that?
Yeah, I think it's in a lot of women to do that.
I think women do try to test your boundaries as a man.
You determine the flow, and I bring this up because I have a 5-year-old son. Everything that I got from the game, I done got from dealing with women. My father didn't teach me anything. My father's still around to this day. I love him. We don't have that kind of relationship that I would like to have, but I don't remember him ever being able to count on one hand the kind of conversations that he should have been having with me to teach me how to deal with women and date.
So you learn
So
from experience.
I learned from experience, and so I am about me now learning here in my late 20s and wanting to impress upon my son that you need to be a man first. No woman is supposed to run your show. You make decisions based upon what you deem is right for you, and then you consider, if you're doing the right thing by her. If you're in a marriage, we're talking about in a marriage, not a relationship, it's a different scope. But if you're married, okay, you want to honor this woman, then you honor her. Outside of that, you be a man first.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to always let my spiritual side guide me, and that says that treat a woman according to knowledge. So when you have a woman, then therefore you treat her, accordingly as far as what it takes to get her to be able to react the way you want to. And that's why I say the wiser person always have the upper hand. So if I have a woman and all I have to say to you is, hey, listen, let me check with my woman first before I find out before I actually commit to this engagement, and I do that, and I say, hey, I want to find out, this, that, and other, and if that causes peace, and she says fine, and it's fine, guess what I'm going to do the next time? I'm going to do the same thing.
See, that's something a man can actually respect. It's a difference between, like I said, doing that, and then you actually committing the time to your friend, and then you turn back later and say, I'm going to do what my woman tells.
Of course, but I was replying to him as far as a man being a man, that we as men have to definitely understand that we have to definitely, there are certain things in women that we need to turn on, there are certain things we need to turn off, and we need to understand that woman to be able to toggle those things for her sake.
Do men and women love differently? How so?
Your answer is?
Yeah, they do. They do. I think in most cases, the woman tends to love first, and the guy sort of catches up if he's gonna catch up.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's different. The woman's gonna love emotionally. Baby, I love you. Here's a hug. Here's a kiss, and we'll go change the oil in the car. We show the action of it. Well, look what I did. I changed the oil in your car. I rotated your tires. I put some windshield wipers on your car.
Love in action.
And action, as opposed to a woman just, oh, did you have a hard day? Let me give you a massage and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. It's just the way we're just wired differently.
I think we love the same, but I think we do different acts. So what you just said, so if I see a woman and I see her, I'm like, dang, she fine, and I get to know her, like, dang, I really like her. If she see me, she said, dang, he fine, dang, I want to get to know her. We pretty much did the same thing. Now what I do in order to express that feeling may be a little bit different. I might go change the oil in the car, and she might go cook the dinner. It may be different, but the same, I think we kind of love the same way. But I think we just do things a little bit different.
I think we love totally differently. We show love and portray love totally differently. Men are more practical, women are more emotional. So women want the sweet talk, they want the attention, They want the romance. They want those kinds of things. And it's kind of tougher for us to do it because we're changing that oil. We're paying that mortgage. We're doing, we're showing love that way. See, so we're showing our love. Well, no, really. Wait, Sherwood. Every man is different. I'm speaking in general now. Men are going to show their love in practical terms. Women are, but they're going to show their love in emotional terms. On an average, not every man and woman is the same, but we show our love by doing and providing for that woman. And that's why we clash so much, because yeah, she sees you doing that, but she wants to be held. She wants to be dated. She wants to be surprised with this and those kinds of things. And that's why we bump and clash a lot, because we love differently.
I agree. I think that a lot of times men express their love through showing the security of their manhood to that woman. A lot of times I've talked to different men, especially married guys, and baby, I've taken care of you. I've given you new clothes. I put a roof over your head. You can't tell that I love you.
Right.
You're not gonna do that for some hoe off the street or some skeezer. You're gonna do this for the woman that you love.
Right.
And that's how men. A lot of men think. I know that's how I think
too. Yeah.
That's how I think.
Yeah.
And then women say, no, you need to take me places. You need to do this. You need to show me the affection. Hey, why don't you paint my toenails sometime? Like, what? Paint your toenails?
Right, yeah. They want it that way.
But we're too tired working trying to keep the roof over head and the lights on.
And that's the same way that I think that it starts early. And let's kind of piggyback what you had said earlier with your dad. That's where you really start getting it from. Like my dad, I probably used to count on one hand how many times he maybe say I love you and hug me,
Yeah,
but I knew he loved me because of all the things that he did. Now mom, on the other hand, I come home from school or whatever, hey baby, affectionate, that's affection.
Mama, yeah.
That's mama. So that's the same thing I think within a relationship. The female is going to be more affectionate. Like you said, more men are just, hey, the things I do, I'm showing you that I love you. It might not come out as often because I don't think we're really raised that way to be like, hey, I love you. I'm not. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with painting your girl's toenail. If that's what you want to do. Hey.
Do you have kids?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so I can look at it from a standpoint of how I even ask my kids why they love me versus they love their mom. I asked my daughter, why do you love your mother? Oh, she took care of me when I was sick and she kissed me. Why do you love me? You teach me things. You tell me how the things that I'm supposed to do. I learn a lot from you. And a lot of times they think about their father and their mother. Those are the things that we think about.
Women are nurturers.
I don't know. I grew up in a household of 5. 4 boys and the young girl was the youngest, and my mom became a single parent at probably the age of 13 of my age. And mom showed love, but it wasn't like, hey son, I love you. It was like, hey son, get that switch because you about to get in trouble. So I think it depends on, because at the same time, it depends on individuals, because I'm sorry, I want to hey, listen, I want you to do something romantic for me too. If I'm going to do it for you, I want you to do it for me. I want a hug too. She'll give me a hug when I come to the house. I got a daughter, give me a hug too. I'm going to give you a hug.
Yeah.
So I think it's still, once again, we do a lot of battling, and sometimes we have not been taught some things, so then therefore we perpetuate it and keep beating it in the ground, but that don't work. So then the wiser person have to look at it and say, hey, listen, if I do something a little bit different, let's see what happens. So hey, you know what? Yeah, baby.
Well, maybe
what color you want your toenails?
Well, just because you didn't get it coming up, does that mean that's necessarily the way that you respond to people now, or your kids? Use your kids for example. Like I tell my son all the time, I love him, and I kiss him.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't get that from my dad.
Exactly.
I got that from my mom mostly, but I love that. I'm in love with my son. I love the hell out of him.
You decided to change that.
Yeah.
You decided to change that.
Yeah, when my son was first born, I actually got recalled back to active duty, and I deployed to Africa. So, and I remember at the time I was married, my wife, she was like, she called, she said, "Do you miss him?" I was in South Carolina training with the Army, and I was just like, yeah, and I just said yeah, but when he was born, it was just like, because I didn't want any kids. But over time, it was just like I came to fall in love with him. I'm glad that he's here. So it's something that evolved on me, even though I didn't get it, from my dad coming up. But my father, I use my father as an example because we are men, and at coming up as I'm an only child coming up as a black male, I looked for role models. My half brother was a third D in the gang. He was with the BDs. I looked to him for some type of support and some type of nourishment because I didn't have anybody. And he would always be like, man, you ever need anything, blah blah blah, come call me. My father wasn't like that. So and I don't want to go off too much on a tangent, but what I am trying to impress upon everybody here is that the love that we show and we portray as adults now, it impacts obviously our relationships because we are talking about this in relation to women. It impacts our relationships, but what I don't want us to get away from is the fact that we are at a place as adults that we can change and choose to seek knowledge and seek wisdom to do things differently. And that's really what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I didn't have a man in my home. And throughout my life, I looked to different mentors in order to get that relationship. Certain to love on him and to kiss on him. I continue to do that all the time because I want to make sure that he knows that he is loved, so he doesn't have to have fake feelings or have to hold himself back from anybody that he should be showing love to.
Exactly. And when that boy grows up, don't you think then he's going to express that same type of love and continue to perpetuate?
I would hope so.
And that's why I think that even guys, men that have not as men, if they weren't around the household, I think that helps us in many different ways because it helps us to see what we need to do because we didn't have it. Right. So what I didn't have, I want to make sure that that offspring has it, and then therefore help them to embrace it so that they can share it too. So that's why I say that men and women kind of love the same, may express it differently, but still it's kind of this. I really think it's really the same.
Everybody needs love.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Love me.
So who's that?
Next question is, what do you think about relationships, and what are the benefits? I think relationships are extremely important. The first institution God established on this earth was marriage, and He meant for men not to be alone, to be able to have someone that he can love and to comfort and to. I know the statistics basically show that within 1 year of a woman dying, the man goes out and finds another wife. A woman can be a widow for the rest of her life. Man, we need women. I don't care what none of y'all say.
Right.
I know if my wife is not in my bed, I'm missing her being there. The benefit is having someone that you can talk to, that cares for you, that you can trust. Being out here can be really, really hard. I talked about being a player and all that other stuff, but when I remember being single, there are some nights I didn't like laying next to the person that I was with. And I remember nowadays I'm glad to look at this person and know this is someone who cares about me, that I love, and we share a family and all that different things. So being able, no matter, even if things are hard, I've learned over time that even when we're going through situations, to look at her and I'm not as mad as long as I used to be. Oh, whatever, you're gonna be here, I'm gonna be here too, so you might as well just get over and keep it moving. So I think the benefits are companionship, love, and being able to establish something beautiful, which is your family.
Man, I commend you.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Completely.
And what was the question again? Our relationships.
What do you think about relationships, and what are the benefits of a relationship?
Okay. Well, like you, you pretty much
Something
teed off everything. Just having, somebody there to be supportive, to push you beyond your limits, I think is probably very important. Whatever it is that you endeavor to do, having a woman that will push you to exceed your own expectations for the sake of the family. I think that's important because a man, he can't be everything to everybody, and so the woman she comes in and she feels those certain gaps that sometimes we can't feel. She sees that that tie that you need, that change in the color, that tie that you need versus the one that you picked up. Or, she sees that, the oil light is on, maybe you ignored it. And so then just little instances like that. But, support, somebody there for emotional support, to back you, to push you to seek your dreams, obviously to benefit yourself and to benefit your family.
I want to definitely point out, though, no one ever said he thought the benefit of having sex. So that's one thing that. Well, it wasn't, but it is.
It is a benefit.
It could be a benefit, but that's not the first thing. I only said that because a lot of times you hear women think that men only get with women for that sexual benefit.